Not that that ever happens. Welcome to Warrior Park for Friday night NPL Tasmania. It's the Olympia FC Warriors and the Glenorchy Knights, two great traditional rivals, ready to duke it out in this all-important game. The Warriors have got the chance to move into top spot of the NPL Tasmania with a victory tonight. Devonport would have 2 games in hand, but it would really ramp up the pressure ahead of their away trip to Buckby Park tomorrow evening. So plenty at stake for the Warriors. They're in good form. They've won 5 games in a row, including a Houdini-esque escape last week. I mean, they were down and out in that one, 2-0 down. They win 3-2. Will such heroics be needed tonight against the Glenorchy Knights team, who are just a little bit out of form at the moment? They've dropped 5 on the bounce, so they're desperate to get back on track. An improved performance for them against Zebras, but they will need to improve again tonight. Joining me to call the action here this evening is Jake Morgan. Good evening, Jake.
Good evening, Andrew, and it's fantastic to be here. Despite the evening being frostier than a 90s men's haircut, it is cold over here at Warrior Park, but hopefully we're going to have some good football that will warm it up. And as you rightly say, it is a rather out of form Glenorchy Knights team coming up against Olympia Warriors, who have been reasonably strong in the league, but certainly one of the most strong midfields that I've seen put together from the Warriors. So we're thinking that they're going to be rather strong tonight, the Warriors.
Yeah, they'll enter as favourites, that's for sure. We'll take a look at the teams here in a moment as they line up. Brenton Copra, our man in the middle this evening. So the players know what to expect with him. He tends to let the game play. And looks like we're going to have a minute's silence here first. There we go. We'll endeavour to find out who that one's for as we take a look at the Glenorchy Knights starting lineup for this evening's game. Number 3, Nicholas Naden. Expect him in attack, been one of the stars of their campaign. Tyler Harrison, he'll be in at centre half. Jake Clay, probably, well, he might play on the wing tonight, I'd suggest, given the fact that Matthias Toghill and Luke Warren are there. They're the 2 obvious fullback candidates. You've got Samuel James also probably pushing into midfield. Alex Lazinski, they'll get you excited, Jack, leading the line. He's still trying to find his best since moving. Aaron Marnie gets a starter, pacey wide man. Declan Brown, the real key in attack. Diego Gutierrez Chavez will be in the middle. Lachlan Hart will be in net. Dimmy Nesta on the bench. Backhouse, the General Sherman just there in case he needs to roll himself out. Potential debut for Malcolm Ersic, who's been playing in the Challenge League. And the rugged George Hallard rounding out that night side.
It certainly is a fairly strong lineup for the Glenorchy Knights, despite the injury troubles that they've had throughout the year. And you're certainly right, I am always excited to watch Alex Lazinski play, but it's going to be really interesting too to see how he's going to link up with his wide players tonight. It's certainly going to be interesting, I think, how he combines, particularly with Declan Brown. So there's certainly one to watch, and he's a player that will bring people into the game, but certainly always exciting too to see the Sherman tank on the bench offering a bit of firepower.
A couple of big outs there with Callum Brown now out for the year and Thomas Young injured again. They'd dearly love to have them out there.
Callum Brown certainly one of the top wingers in the league, and absolutely love watching that man, so we'll certainly wish him a speedy recovery.
We'll move on to the Olympia Warriors now, and no real surprises in that lineup. Perhaps the one there, young Austin Yost, getting a start. He comes in place of Warren Wadzawu. Kyle McDonald will be in net. Lucas Hill return. You've got Jordan Scott, the hero last week there. He, Ladich and Mearns will be the midfield 3. Paul Stevens, you'd imagine, will partner Hill in defence. Ryan Cook's been slotting in at left back with Kurtz at right back. Jack Ryan leading the line, although with Jake Thompson there as well. Might see Kurtz slightly more advanced this evening, perhaps. And certainly Yost and Ryan. No Joffrey Nkoso. He's still out injured. That's a blow. The king of the handles. On the bench, you've got Ortman, Wadzawu, Hills, the experienced Jake Vandermeer to turn to if they want. Looks like Thompson is lining in at left back, so it's going to be perhaps Ryan Cook who's going to play the more advanced role this evening. We're underway here at Warrior Park. Jordan Scott immediately on it, and immediately upon kickoff, a little bit of rain just to make things even colder for the players out there. It's been beautiful and still all evening. Kickoff comes, bang, the rain.
Yeah, and it's certainly going to be difficult for the players out there. It's going to make the ball sting that little bit more when it hits the thighs or the exposed flesh. So with a game being played at Warrior Park, certainly can be one of the more shorter passing number game of a short number of passes per move. We can certainly see congested play, which could certainly lead to some of those stingers happening.
And the Knights might prefer that, given some of their passing woes in their past couple of games have not really been at their smoothest moving the ball, so that might suit them all right. Looks like Jake Clay's lining in at centre-back tonight. Very versatile player, but he'll have his hands full if he gets isolated against Jack Ryan, as Gutierrez Chavez works it up there to Nick Naden. Naden draws a crowd, then swings it wide to Luke Warrener. Direct option looking for Lazinski, headed away by the mountain Lucas Hill. Ladich working it forward and Cook giving chase, so it looks like he's going to start on the flanks there. Ryan leading the line, Yost on the other wing. And there's Ladich. He'll be involved heavily with Jordan Scott tonight in that midfield. Here is Jack Ryan, powerful front man. He'll do plenty of that hold-up work. He wins his side an early corner here.
Yeah, and the players certainly doing us no favours by playing it all the way on the other side of the pitch, well away from our viewing eyes, which making it a little bit difficult to call, but I think that's Cook now over there for the Warriors, about to take this corner. We've certainly got some players who have headed ability, but he takes this one short. Scott from distance, well blocked there by the Knights player. Certainly a big row of them being able to close down any shot from distance just there. Ball's just pumped wide and long and out of play there from the Olympia goalkeeper.
It's a variation we've seen a few times this year from the Warriors. They love trying to tee up that Jordan Scott shot at the top of the box. The Knights, they need to be careful about that. It's no state secret. If they can get the ball to Scott, they will go for that variation every time. And
it was a beautiful little decoy run too from Ladich to create that space for Scott there, but with so many Knights players back, it was a veritable wall to try and get through.
If anyone could, it would probably be Scott with his long-range shooting ability on show this year. He's scored some absolute blinders. Naden won't be able to track this down, and Yost just clears the area, and Jake Clay should be able to deal with this one. There's a little bit of time before Ryan arrives. And slightly rash ball forward in the end. Just sliding off there. It'll be interesting to see how the pitch plays. I think this moisture, it's normally a pretty quick synthetic on a surface as it is. It's just going to zip around even more with that little bit of added moisture on there. So it's going to be zipping around and tough to control, but should lead to a good tempo.
Well, the moisture did lead to Clay losing a bit of form just before when he knocked the ball out of play, and it can do that. It's seeming like the Warriors are going to be on top with possession fairly early. Stevens now on the ball. Looks up and finds Ladich, but that's poor. Brown in now, goes around the keeper, and he puts it into the net. That is a horrendous error at the back there from the Warriors, and the Knights strike early here. 1-0, Brown at the ready.
Declan Brown taking full advantage, but that is just an absolute gift. A horribly underhit back pass there. McDonald left absolutely stranded, and that is not the start that they were after at all. The Knights take the early lead here.
It is certainly the start that you want as a neutral just here, because it could be leading to a brilliant game of football. And he was at the ready and just really poked it home, and just wrong-footed a little bit there, Lucas Hill. He could have potentially even gotten to that.
Yeah, I think he was a little surprised maybe by the pace of the final shot. We need to roll that back a little bit more to see the underhit back pass. Very kind there, editing there, Ashes. We just saw the finish there.
Certainly wasn't champagne football, though, from anybody involved, I think, Andrew Cooling.
They started sluggishly last week against the Lions, obviously pulled themselves out of the fire late, but they were pretty slow out of the blocks, and we've seen that again. A very, very poor pass there, and Knights will gladly accept that gift as earlier in the year when they played at KG5 was a 3-1 win to the Warriors. The Knights took an early lead in that game and probably should have made it 2 or 3. Didn't do so that day, didn't capitalise on their dominance. If they have a similar period here today, they need to take their chances, because we know that the Warriors will stay strong and keep fighting to the very end. As this one's worked forward by Ladich. Stretching was the chef Ryan Cook. Tough coming together there between Thompson and Gutierrez Chavez. We'll take the throw in here. Lazinski. This is where he tends to excel the hold-up work, but as he's pocket-picked by Lucas Hill, followed by Ladich to Mearns. Working back was Naden, really covers the ground well, the front man there, Nick Naden. He will not stop running throughout the 90. Headed away by Kurtz, worked on by Scott. Through Jade Clay now. Trying to make something happen. Here's Aaron Marnie. Sliding in was Ladich. He falls out the back for Samuel James, who has some time to swing one over the head of Lazinski. Paul Stevens able to win that one away. Declan Brown recycles it back out the back. So the Knights certainly with a skip in their step, certainly having scored. The confidence perhaps growing. Marnie will control that one, but they will get the throw.
Well, the confidence certainly is growing here for the Knights, and it really isn't the response that I expected from the Warriors. They looking a little bit slow to the ball just here, and it's really allowing the Knights to maintain the type of possession that isn't really often seen at Warrior Park. Although it's not too uncommon in other fields, certainly don't really see people hanging onto the ball for periods of a minute and a half or so like the Knights just have here. But the turnover now. Warriors looking to get back into the game. Who goes up? Jack Ryan. Just holding up play with his strength, but just allowed the Knights player to sneak in the back there. Comes back to Ryan. Jordan Scott now has an open field. That's Bay Kurtz out in a bit of space. The players making a move up in front of him and finds a beautiful ball. Jack Ryan!
Flag up.
Flag is up though. Thank you for calling me on that one, Andrew, because I was about to let rip there. And the flag is indeed up.
Jeez, it was
beautiful
a good
ball over the top and a great first touch.
Yeah, that's not going to tell us anything, that shot, but great first touch finish. The ball was an absolute gem, just took the Knights defence out, but the flag, it was a slightly late flag, but it was up before he deposited that one away. And that's an area that the Knights struggled with against the Zebras a couple of times last week. There's little chips over the middle. Matt Pace made a couple of good runs. He got his goal there. He almost scored another one from just a run straight between the two centre-backs and a ball over the top. And with,
certainly not the tallest centre-backs that the Knights have out there on the field, but between Clay and it might have just been a little bit of a switch there at centre back too, I think.
Harrison's there, he's just getting treatment. James has dropped in the meantime. Harrison good in the air, but Clay certainly, he's a shorter stature, and I think the revolving door of centre backs hasn't helped either. I think they've had the same centre back pairing about twice all year, which has just made things very difficult to get that continuity and trust really at the back. As Nick Mearns turns and has a run here at Tyler Harrison, driving the plays. Mearns drops it off for Cook. Cook bending across, but it's straight into the lethal arms of Lachlan Hart. A bit of a wasted opportunity there.
Not necessarily a bad ball if you've got a player making a run at the near post, but in the absence of that, pretty poor in the end there from the wide man. As the Knights keeper just lumps it long. Stephen with some great control on the chest. Looks it out wide to Bay Kurtz, who we suspected was going to play out at right back today, but seems to have slotted in at left back. Jono Ladich now, one of the veterans of Tasmanian football. The ball out wide to Cook. Jack Ryan just turns the wrong way and puts it across the face, but Mearns wasn't quite on the same wavelength of them as him, rather. And it looks as though Knights can make a move here. Nick Naden galloping at the defence, has a wide man making a run. He ignores that and goes himself. Gets the ball taken off him by Thompson. Probably the wrong decision there from Naden.
The initial players, he ran at them, but yeah, probably the wrong one to going to turn down a blind alley in the end and ran straight into Thompson.
Did have Albie and the wide player, who I can't quite tell who it is over there, number 19. There's options, but didn't quite go there, as Lucas Hill just shepherds the ball out of play for a goal kick from that man Naden.
Aaron Marnie, the man you're referring to there, getting the start tonight, who's won plenty of experience for Aaron Marnie, still plenty of pace. And he'll be lively down the flanks as Kurtz works it to Jack Ryan. Ryan just left that one a little short for Austin Yost as Stevens steers it into Jordan Scott. Quite been able to get on the ball as much as he would have liked early on. Again, it's a ball into the channel there from Kurtz. You can see where they're targeting here.
Certainly good defending there, I think, from Jade Clay to just track that run from Ryan, though. And with his body in between him and the ball, Ryan didn't feel that he could get on the end of that one. Wasn't necessarily too poor of a ball. Knights now just hanging in with a little bit of possession. Rather than hanging on, though, they just lumped that one wrong into the arms of McDonald.
Kyle McDonald in net. He looks up here. Jack Ryan, unlikely target.
Had a great game in his first game that I saw for the Warriors. Win, I think, where John O'Ladich scored that absolute thumper.
In South there. A pretty reliable pair of hands in the Warriors net this year. Can't think of too many errors, a couple, but I don't think anything too egregious. Most keepers will have one or two errors throughout the course of a season. He's been a pretty reliable customer back there, and Lachlan Hart is impressed whenever I've seen him. There's been plenty of rotation in the Knights net. Timmy Nest has been preferred over the last month or so, but perhaps his form's dipped a little, and the opportunity going back to Hart, who look to seize the chance. He's shown a bit this year when he's been given the chances. This one's chipped forward there onto the chest of big Jack Ryan, takes it down, corralled by Harrison as he turns onto the left. Toghill miscues his clearance straight back to the keeper, and fair to say he didn't quite mean that.
That has gone about 180 degrees away from where he intended that ball to go there, Toghill, but others could call it a cunningly disguised back pass. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. Well done, Toghill.
That's far too much credit to my old futsal teammate there. Don't give him that, as this one's worked forward. Lucas Hill.
Certainly know that you won't be.
Absolutely not. It's, as you say, about 180 degrees from where he wanted it, as this one deflects into the path of Thompson. Steered it to John O'Ladich, immediately surrounded, so just dropping it back. Nerns and across to Kurtz. They combine, but the Knights pressing well here. They're looking to play their way through, and they've done well. And a rather clumsy foul in the end by James. Good use of the body from Cook, just took the position.
Some really nice passing in that move there from the Warriors. It's just starting to descend into some of that cluttered play you do see at times here. But, John O'Ladich sliding in there too. Absolutely, slightly recklessly, but is he giving away no yellow card, but just the free kick? Certainly thought that one could have been perhaps worthy of a little bit of a chat at least.
Yeah, I don't think it was too reckless. So there's need to watch it a little, but just a free kick will do. He got too near the bloke, as this one's played again to Lazinski, who's been the lightning rod for everything aerial. Thumped out of there by Kurtz. Harrison chips it forward, a bit of aerial ping-pong breaking out here, nodded forward. Toghill up against Cook. Done well there. He's started this game nicely as the chef. Jack Ryan nods it into the path of Mearns, tries to return the favour, straight to Harrison. Now off the heads of Scott and Hill, and then it falls out the back. Nick Naden's got some serious wheels, but so too does the mountain Lucas Hill. And he recovered pretty well, then really put Thompson under pressure, and he's done nicely there, young Thompson. Skips away, played it to Ladich. And Paul Stevens works it forward here to Kurtz. Kurtz under pressure from Naden. It's just a sloppy pass straight to Tyler Harrison. He'll eat that up all day. And back out again. McDonald went looking for Hill in the end. Went all the way to Thompson under pressure from Marnie. Here with a raking diagonal ball. Straight to that divine beard of Matthias Toghill. Great little ball there from Mearns for Cook. Well defended by Tyler Harrison. In the corner they play here. Worked back along the line. And it's going to be a throw in the way of the Warriors.
Just working their way back into the game a little bit here, the Warriors, but not really seeing their good possession translate into clear-cut chances. Certainly the best move that I've seen was the offside chance before from Jack Ryan, which looked fairly close, but they're onto a good one here. Ladich goes wide to Cook. They've got a couple in the box, but it does not get beyond, I think, Warrener out there. He just chops that one off for a corner for the Warriors, but we do know that the Warriors have a few big bodies that they can throw into the mixer here.
Austin Yost just breaking a little bit of room there as he's cross blocked off, as the chef will come across again to see what he can cook up from this set piece. Scott and Ladich will perhaps try that variation again. The dummy runs begin. Will they bite on this occasion?
You can certainly see Jordan Scott in the same spot. They take it near post.
Away by James. Scott gets back on it, swings it across to Cook, and it's just eluded him out of play there. So you see Gutierrez Chavez was well alert to the danger of Scott on that occasion. And seems they've learnt that lesson after the first one. Don't want to be giving him too much space, the Englishman, as the Kingborough Lions discovered last week.
And they certainly did. That is one of the more remarkable tales from this season. Certainly in terms of individual games, to be 2-0 down in the 88th minute, I think it was, is just really quite an inspiring comeback from the Warriors. So the ball is now thumped long here for the Knights. Thompson competing, but looked like a potential boulder hand just there, so play's allowed to continue by Copra. Fair collision too. Kurtz gets up and looks for Ryan, but well defended there before the ball comes back to the Warriors, and just congested play allows the Knights to spring the counter. Naden here, wheels are on, jostling with Kurtz, just manages to get it away from Stephen, and that was some pretty good defending there in the end, Andrew.
Yeah, he's done quite nicely there as the American charging back, covering the ground nicely, as it looks like Cook and Yost have just switched flanks for the time being. It's going to be Yost down the left and Cook on the right. Inverting there the chef, an early switch. It's something the Warriors like to do with their wide men, as Nick Mearns carries this one forward, drills a low ball to the top of the box. Oh, the layoff, not great from Cook, made Ryan go back and collect it. Eventually, a poor pass from Jack Ryan, couldn't find Scott, and just got a little bit sloppy as it threatened to break open there. The initial build-up play was promising as Lucas Hill, so his centre-back partner, Paul Stevens, Mearns, now Kurtz. Stevens under pressure from Lazinski, but 17 minutes gone here, not chances really being created, and the goal just came from an ill-conceived back pass, so neither team really creating much just yet.
No, a lot of the kind of congested midfield play that you see in Warrior Park, but a lot of attempts to just kind of bomb the ball long to target men, which are both in operation for these sides tonight. Lucas Hill showing the latter of those two options I was just talking about for Warrener. Takes that route too. Great chest down and thump from distance from Brown. And I think that's very lucky that McDonald had his legs behind it, because it looked to go straight through his hands.
Yeah, I think a keeper would say it's not luck, it's the technique, but it was a fizzing drive from distance. And on a night like this, I don't mind the idea from Brown. If that one hits the pitch and skids off, it's going to be damn difficult for any keeper. So he's got the ability from range, Declan Brown, and don't mind the snapshot there.
Exhibiting the hungry hippo technique there, McDonald, just gobbling that one up.
Well,
it was a beautiful chest down too from Albie Lazinski, really showing his attributes to the maximum just there.
Yeah, he's had a good start to this game, Big Albie, playing that target man role you speak of. He's had a few good flick-ons and held the ball up nicely.
It's a great battle between him and Hill, because Hill certainly has the height over him, but Albie looks to have the strength sewn up. So we continue to battle tonight, and I think that'll be one of the more engrossing parts of this, as well as watching Harrison up against Jack Ryan for the Warriors. Here they are now, the Warriors. Bay Kurtz looks to go in over the top. It was Ladich who'd made the run, but a few metres away from where he really wanted that one to be. Gobbled up there by the Knights keeper.
Lucky Hart. Swing this one at the left, looking for Lazinski. Stevens came over the top. Here's Kurtz, has been prominently involved early on this one. Swings it back. Carl McDonald makes this one forward, looking for Cook. Just kind of used the pecs there to just thrust that one forward. Chipped forward now by Clay, and the offside flag goes up on Aaron Marnie as they threatened to get him behind there. The flag straight up there, and a correct one. We were directly in line with that. Well adjudicated down there.
Certainly reasonably tight, but certainly correct there too. Lucas Hill now for the Warriors. Just not really managing to create the kind of chances they want so far, but you do get the feeling it could come in an instant over the top. And here it is. Jack Ryan, just a little back heel through to Ladich, manages to get on the end of it. Looks back inside, but that's cut out there, I think, from Samuel James. And as we're increasingly seeing tonight, just thumped away by the Warriors, rather the Knights, to a Warriors defence, which looks to get things going again, as they have done all evening.
They're starting to get a little bit of control of the proceedings here, the Warriors. The more likely team since going down. Just nothing clear-cut just yet. They'd love to get Jordan Scott involved as he swings this one out and puts Ladich under a bit of pressure, and he's done pretty well there. And in the end, he just on the throw anyway. Brown, Gutierrez Chavez under pressure from the Englishman. Chipped it forward. Only Lucas Hill there. Aaron Marnie had just retreated back as he now pressures McDonald. And swings it across to Kurtz, combining with Stevens. Stevens just chips that one beautifully in there to the bullseye where Ladich has some room, and he sends it out wide. It's a bursting run from young Austin Yost, but he's unable to get there. Just a bit too far out ahead of him there. Look to get him behind, but real emphasis from both these teams to get the ball forward quickly has been very noticeable.
Yeah, probably look to make a little bit of that one there. Jono Ladich on the replay. A little bit of a shove coming in from the Knights player. Man now, Ladich just knocks the ball out of play again for yet another throw for the Glenorchy Knights. Warner to take. Leaves it long in the Albie Lazinski direction. Just skids off the top of his dome, but isn't quite read by Nick Naden. Donald will now get onto the ball to launch again for the Warriors.
Try and make some inroads through Kurtz. A tough coming together there with Matthias Toghill. And, a bit of pushing and shoving here. Toghill and Kurtz getting very, very acquainted with each other, getting up in each other's grill there. A fiery old customer is T-Pain Matthias Toghill, that's for sure. And the American wasn't taking a backward step either. They're not intimidated by the beard there, was Kurtz. They'll certainly have a bit of a running duel this evening. The right back up against a very offensive left back, so it might not be the last we see of that.
Yeah, I'll certainly look forward to that one. And two pretty strong personalities, I'd imagine, they're coming up against each other, Andrew. So see if the argy-bargy becomes anything more serious, but I certainly hope it wouldn't detract from the game as it gets lumped long for the Warriors. Jack Ryan needs to get his dome to it. A bit of aerial ping-pong, as you mentioned a little bit earlier. Before Samuel James gives the ball away poorly to Bailey Kurtz, who just chips it up over the top to the chef, who really overcooks that one.
And throws his arms up.
Yeah, absolutely burnt that delivery.
Send that one back to the kitchen. He wasn't at all happy, Nick Mearns. He made a pretty intelligent run there. Wasn't given a play on it. Tyler Harrison will switch things up. Sends this one across to Jake Clay, along in the Marnie direction. Lucas Hill just punches that one there into the Brown direction. Naden swings one across. Toghill making a storming run forward. He will resume his duel with Kurtz, and Kurtz able to work it forward. Cut out by Brown.
Yeah.
And a bit of a self-falcon there from the chef.
A very subtle little falcon there from the chef.
Diagonal played by Harrison, but his winger was nowhere near it, so probably ill-advised that one, I'd have thought.
Yeah, we are seeing a lot of misplaced passes over the top in this game of football, Andrew. I would hate to see a stat, really, of the successful completed pass rate for either of these sides when they've looked to go long. Really been Albie Lazinski and Jack Ryan who've shown any prospect of holding it up at this stage. Warriors look to work it through here. Samuel James will earn a corner for the Knights. Certainly be happy with how things are going though, Andrew.
Well, they've got the lead in the game. Certainly didn't create the chance, just gifted to them, but well taken by Brown, and absolutely, I think they'll just take a win however they can get it at the moment. It's been a pretty rough patch for the Knights on their return to the top flight here in Tasmania, and they'll be very keen to get a win over an old rival like Olympia. It's been a long time between drinks, and several years since they were able to get one over the Warriors, so I think they'd be very keen, and I don't think they'll care how it comes. And Olympia, well, they know they have to win. They've got to put the pressure on Devonport. They've got to keep applying it, and if they're going to win the league title, you can't be dropping points at home to the 7th place team, basically. Because I can assure you the Devonport Strikers aren't going to. As this one's worked forward. Nick Naden nods it to himself in the end and then lofted it over the top. Now he a chance to get a hold of that one.
Busy tonight, Nick Naden, hasn't he? Certainly gotten on the ball a bit more than the goal scorer in Declan Brown.
Busy player by nature. He never stops running, full of energy, really works back both ways. He's a very impressive player, Nick Naden, since he kind of broke on the scene at Clarence those years ago. Has always impressed me, and he's been probably just about the Knights' best this year. He and Declan Brown would probably be the two. I think probably two of the only ones who've actually played double figures games. I think Brown's played 13, two have played 11, one of them's Naden, and everyone else under 10 games, which when you've played 16 matches, it's tough.
Very hard to get a rhythm, certainly, because it really is a better list than their standing in the table suggests, Glenorchy Knights, and that really does indicate how much injuries have hit them. Scott now, though. Beautiful curl into the box, and the keeper comes but doesn't get to it, and Stephen looking more for the Gaelic football over there than the shot. Bit of a shovel boot there from Paul Stephen. Really wanted to get that one on target.
Yeah, it's very much the non-preferred of a centre-back, that kind of a shot. Just on the left, it was a teasing ball, a bent. Beautifully gave Ryan a great chance to attack at heart, a little at sea, and Stevens gets a sharp half volley. He just couldn't keep it down. And the chance goes begging. Their best chance of the game so far, just about one of the only chances from open play, I think. The shot numbers from Dooley there in a second, but I can't imagine outside of the Declan Brown shot. Yeah, it's the Warriors' first shot, and we've had that Brown shot from range and the back pass that he tapped home, and that's it.
There have been semi-chances created, I suppose, that you could call them, through balls over the top, but I suppose Jack Ryan being caught offside certainly can't be called a chance. But they've looked to create a little bit more, I think, than Glenorchy have. It's probably more a product of being behind than perhaps any seriously good play from the Warriors, but they've been on top in midfield. I think that's also fair to say.
Yep.
And they'll continue to try and grind down the Knights' defence.
Well, we know that they will run the game out, and there'll be a threat to score until the very end.
Certainly wise, I think, too. We're seeing a lot of Jack Ryan isolating himself onto Clay and really taking advantage of his size there and being able to hold onto the ball a little bit more. And a lot of times where you're seeing Tyler Harrison just standing by himself, really. And I think as this game continues on, that could really be one of the moments that turn it for the Warriors if they look to get in over the top or allow him to hold up and use his strength and size. Could be the moment that does it for them.
Yeah, it's a good shout, and I think we saw that in an earlier matchup this year. It was Hardwick partnering Harrison on that occasion. Shorter in stature Hardwick, a younger player, and Ryan just tried to get one-on-one with him whenever he could. And that's going to be a free kick there in favour of the Warriors. Which
the kind of strategy that players like Diego Costa were very good at, just really taking the weaker of the central defenders and really starting to try and pick on them.
Trying to work him over as Scott opts to take this one quickly this time rather than send it in, and tried to go around Toghill, who said none shall pass, works this one forward. Thompson out the back, and McDonald a long way out from his area here and swings it over the top. Able to find Ryan Mearns attacks, and then has his shirt ripped off by Toghill. Copra says, no you didn't. Well, don't know about that. That's surely offside against Marnie here at the other end. No, apparently not. So the Knights getting a good little run here as this one swung in. Headed away by Thompson. I'm still staggered that Toghill got away with that.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say about that other than it's staggering. So
I mean, he's throwing the arm up and going, I didn't touch him, but it was after he grabbed the shirt collar. I think in American football they call that a horse collar.
Brown now, onto the ball for the Warriors. It's laying it a little bit short there, I think, for Samuel James. Harrison looks for the diagonal to Warriner, but very much overhit that ball. It's going into the Olympia Warriors quarry that they've got over there in the corner.
long throw. Won't find Yost. It was broken up by James. Nick Naden now under pressure from Ladage, but he turns free. It's Marnie in support out wide, but opts to turn and go himself. Perhaps should have used the teammate in the end, but they'll get a throw in a promising position here, and I think Lukey Warren might fancy just heaving this one in. Lazinski, a likely target, such a weapon on these grounds. They take it short instead. Spills through to Nick Mearns, and Mearns will look to get the counter-attack going. Here's Yost. Forward looking for Ryan, just misplaced the pass. Couldn't quite find the Englishman there. But, that one's eventually going to roll out for a Warriors throw-in to be taken by Thompson. Yost just cleverly working that one off of Warrener. Advance a few more yards. Going half an hour here now at Warrior Park. Friday night football. A win and they go top. If they lose, suddenly a big chance for Devonport to open up a gap with games in hand. It's a must-win game, this one, for the Warriors, and they're down early after a full-back pass gifted Declan Brown the opening goal. Lucas Hill was looking for Yost and really give him a chance. Warrener thumping that one away. Ladich coughed it straight up to James. Gutierrez Chavez looks it to Naden. Nice work from Naden. Finds Marnie combining with Lazinski. Continued his run, but broken up by Thompson. Warrener lofting forward. Lazinski again strong in the air. And then here's the turnover and left it for Marnie. Wasn't expecting that. Jordan Scott curls this one around. It's a bit of draw to keep it in, but the Knights win the ball back again. Neither team able to just keep a hold of it for the time being. And now Naden threatening to get in behind. Thompson was there on the spot.
Very well done from both of the fullbacks there for the Warriors, just tucking in behind the centre-backs as they got sucked up to try and win back the ball. Particularly Thompson there to win that one back and really prevent Naden from making this a very difficult game for the Warriors. Mearns now looks to chip up over the top to Cook. He was onside, but with Harrison's height there, he just managed to knock that one away before any damage could be done. Thompson now for the Warriors.
James nodding that one away. And Warrener hooking clear, you're right. Harrison using every inch of his frame on that clearance. They've threatened a couple of times with those little chip balls over the top. And as I mentioned, it was an area where the Zebras found some success last week against the Knights, exploiting that kind of approach. Ryan tried to hit Ladich, who attacked the ball with speed but couldn't gather it. Marnie looking to play a 1-2. Just Marnie just clipped off the ball there. This might be a slice of cheese, I reckon, for Lucas Hill. Just stopped his ability to run forward. He'll argue the point, and Copra says, come in and we'll have a chat. And I think he might just get away with a warning on this occasion.
He just letting Lucas Hill know that he's got the block of cheese in the fridge and the shavers ready to go, so better behave himself or we'll be getting tonight's first slice of cheese. But he's also a man who doesn't like to produce them too often. Likes to keep the cheese for himself, Brendan Copra. That's the game flow. It's going to be the Warriors now. Throwing a few bodies forward here, going to look to knock it on. It's thumped into the near coast. And McDonald strong here for the Warriors. Just getting up in front of Nick Naden. Just with a bit of body contact too, which can make grabbing those ones that little bit more difficult. Thumps that one high and away into the blinding lights above Warrior Park.
Ran out of play that one from McDonald, who's some advice from the sideline there. It's Luke Warrener. He'll take this throw in. The Knights a little spell here where they're starting to make things happen. Lazinski competing with Ladich.
Some great crowd interaction going on there from McDonald in the background. Certainly somebody offering him some advice from the wet area, and just that man conducting it really.
Yeah, I don't think he's too phased by it. Gutierrez Chavez now threatening to get in. Oh, it's Naden just behind him. It might fall for Declan Brown. Thompson there, still Declan Brown. Just kind of jumped straight into Lucas Hill.
Yep.
Out the back. If it wasn't going to be a foul, it would be a goal kick. It's a dangerous situation here. Gutierrez Chavez just lofting it back towards Naden, who stretched, but it was just behind him. Made it tough, but he's He's a very strong player in the air, Nick Nate, and he's got a good aerial presence. He's scored a number of goals from headers over the past couple of seasons. So not a bad man to be picking out.
Almost could have gone the scorpion flick with that thick hair. It looks that strong. Unfortunately for him, nothing doing there, Nick Naden. Just a little bit too much curve on the ball for him. The Warriors look to respond here. It's John O'Ladich. There's runners everywhere for him. And just a poor ball out in front of Mearns allows the Glenorchy Knights to repel the attack once again.
Final ball just hasn't been good enough from either team, but especially the Warriors here this evening. They've had a number of promising positions where they've just mishit a pass.
They're certainly defending their space really well, though, too. Those centre-backs, I think, from the Glenorchy Knights. But here's Jack Ryan on the ball. Just a poor first touch there from, I think, the chef. Allows that one to get away. They stay on the ball, though, the Warriors. But yeah, they've defended the aerial balls well and then defended the space well, and the Warriors have outnumbered them.
Hello, Lazinski and Hill. They are really going at it. There's a fair bit of emotion out there this evening, a fair bit of argy-bargy. No surprise that Toggill's decided to just insert himself in there too, but let's have a look at what sparked this. Lazinski just clipping the ankle there, and I can see why Lucas Hill wasn't happy. I'm sure what Lazinski's carrying on about.
Almost a love tap of sorts there.
Started him on the back of the ankle too, so Lucas Hill not happy, and Copper has pulled out some cheese here. He's given it to Lucas Hill, has he, for his reaction afterwards. Well, Lazinski, geez, you compared Ryan to Diego Costa, but there was a bit of Diego Costa about that from Lazinski, and he gets the opponent booked.
Certainly was the dark arts there from Albie Lazinski.
I think Jordan Scott wisely saying, shut up, Lucas, and get out of there. Don't talk yourself into another one.
Certainly got to pay thanks to our camera woman over there, Vlasta. That's a beautiful shot of that incident that we had. Certainly the remonstrations between the two players at the end. But it's going to be a dangerous ball in now from the Warriors. Looked like he could be going short then. But he chips it long to Scott, and it just holds up in the sky and just about is going backwards by the time it comes back down. Serious gust of wind there for the Knights. Managed to once again hold on to it and just thump it away, and we've been seeing a lot of that tonight, Andrew.
Yeah, you can see the impact the wind's having. Just look at the safety barrier over on the near touchline as it is for your camera view. Far too slow for us.
Yeah.
Look at the wind factor there. So definitely wreaking a bit of havoc. That's probably causing some of these misplaced passes as Scott works this one forward to Jack Ryan. Did well to keep his balance, Jack Ryan. Turns onto the left here and then just plays it all the way back to Paul Stevens. Well, initially they've kept a hold of it though, and now they'll look to attack down the left. Looking it forward, turning into some space here was Mearns, but the offside flag has been raised on him, which will kill that move. Just looking threatening for a moment when Ryan turned, and might have been better off just punching one into the box, I think.
Yeah, that'll be about 4 or 5 offsides, I think, by the Warriors to only 1 from the Knights so far. So just needing to sort out, they're releasing the ball, I think, the Warriors. Great turn there from Bay Kurtz, and sends Matthias Toggill for a hot dog then. And Tyler Harrison just thumps it back into a bit more of that broken down play that we've been seeing a lot of this evening.
So Marnie just slightly outmatched in an aerial duel with Lucas Hill there. That's slight disparity.
Level 1 trampolining move, that one, the tuck jump.
Marnie will get on the ball here though, and he drops it off for Declan Brown. Has a run at the defence, plays a beautiful 1-2, sends it across the face to Naden. Great block by Kurtz. Charges down the shot and saves a certain goal. The American there tracked the run and closed the shutdown.
I don't know if he knew too much about the ball then, but he certainly knew a lot about his positioning then, Bay Kurtz. Take a bow, young man. Got into a great spot then, and that could have made it a real mountain to climb for the Warriors. Looking to get back on the ball and move it quickly up this near side, which we have utterly no view of.
It's a great 1-2 in the box here. You see on the replay, Declan Brown and Marnie combining nicely here. Beautiful stuff there from Marnie, and a teasing ball across the face. That's Kurtz, his positioning, as you say, spot on. And Naden was just lining up that one, just swinging wildly in the air. It's pretty tough to judge out there. It's getting windier and windier out there. This one's chipped forward, and look at the zip off the pitch. And that's frustrating for Warreno, who'd made a really good run forward, but the ball just flew away from him.
I think this breeze is going to favour the Warriors in the second half, however.
They're definitely kicking into the teeth of it right now.
So we saw that ball earlier on just almost turned backwards as it was lumped into the box. Warriors really struggling to make it count going forward because of it. The Knights being able to repel with ease. Any kind of ball being lumped away easily. Lazinski holding up play reasonably well, being a bit of a nuisance down there too. Coming together between Ladich and Brown. Warriors get moving up the right. Typically brilliant hold-up play there from Jack Ryan before Mearns ends up in a sandwich. He finds Ladich. It's over the top to Mearns. And once again, the Knights player, Rose heads it.
And a slice of cheese being issued here too, by the looks of it. Into the book goes Diego Gutierrez Chavez. And another opportunity for the Englishman Jordan Scott to show his wares from the set piece. I think he's enjoying the win factor with his free kicks here, just putting them up right near the keeper. They're going to be mighty tough for a keeper to come out and get the catch because it's just veering wildly in the air.
Yep.
Tough conditions for the keepers. So
certainly can be ones that they don't quite come far enough for. And that could be exactly what Scott's looking for here.
Imagine it will be. He's going to take it short though. Plays the 1-2. Now perhaps will swing one in. He goes looking for Jack Ryan. Lazinski defending him there though. The two target men battling it out.
Just blocked out the light in the sky there, did the big frame of Albie Lazinski.
Offside again.
Give a clear look at it to Jack Ryan. And another offside for the Warriors. Could be 6 or 7 now, I think.
Certainly straight. Holding those runs. Harrison will use the wind to his absolute advantage. It was a good ball, tough for Warren to deal with though. But
aside from asking a man to take that down with a nice first touch on the foot, you would struggle to catch that ball, to be honest. That was a bit of a mortar there from the Knights player.
Using the wind to bring it over the top is just into a little bit of trouble there, but they'll work their way forward. Scott played it to Mearns. Turn it over straight to Warner. He's just going to pitch down there in the corner. But, might just box them in a little bit here. Probably not the worst result for Knights. They'll try and apply the forward press a little. They condense up this short playing surface. And now they'll get the goal kick. A couple of minutes away from half-time here at Warrior Park. A goal to nil in favour of the Knights. It was that man, Declan Brown, who took advantage of a gift and put his side 1 goal to the good. Since then, hasn't been a heap of chances, but conditions tough and enough, I think, for the Warriors to think that with the wind advantaging them in the second half, they can get back into this one as Nick Mearns wriggles free and punches out a really good ball to Kurtz in a little bit of room. He'll have a run at Toghill and then swings across in looking for Jack Ryan. Brings it down. Jack Ryan, 1-1. The Englishman squares it up just before the half. He'd been threatening to do so. And that aerial ball over the top does bring about the goal. Ryan brings it down. And just before the half, we are back on terms.
And just that height advantage there from Jack Ryan. And really, his ability to judge the flight of the ball there allowed him to bring that one down. And a clinical finish on the left brings the Warriors back level at 1-1, and it is game on just before half-time.
That'll change the team talks, no doubt. That's a big goal. He had looked pretty threatening, Jack Ryan, all evening. At the time he saw the chance to get a bit of a one-on-one with Samuel James. Brought it down well. And as you say, a clinical finish with the non-preferred. He really hit that. Gave Lachlan Hart no chance. He with some venom. But, look, on the balance of play, you'd have to say deserved. They didn't really, didn't feel like a game the Knights should be leading at half-time.
They've certainly looked like the better side going forward and certainly more capable of getting onto passing moves than what we've seen from the Knights, who've really kind of whacked it forward and tried to rely on the dribbling ability of Naden or the hold-up play of Albie Lazinski, as Lucas Hill just knocks that one back to his keeper, and I think they'll just be pretty content to take this in at 1-1 now, both sides. I don't think we'll see too much more action. Very few Warriors players calling it forward now. out wide before the ball is turned over. How long do we reckon we've got left in the half in terms of injury time?
Generally a standard minute or probably 2, given it's copper.
Certainly hasn't been too much to hold it up so far.
2 goals, standard 30 seconds for each minute, not a thought.
Certainly is times where you see Copra just pull a random 2 or 3 minutes out though.
Yeah, I think he's more in the second half that he likes to just keep the theatre going. Half time, I think he's ready for a bit of a break, but at the end of the game, he's a big fan of just letting it play.
I think Jack Ryan just got called for a handball on that play, and I think he's pretty angry that he didn't get one for a push.
Probably has a fair case too there, Jack Ryan.
Certainly looked at from live play, but nothing doing from Copra, who has the best view of all. Toghill now, looks like he's gotten in out the back. Does he have a few in the middle? Just overcooked that one. Marnie couldn't get onto the ball, and it doesn't look like Warriors are going to be able to repel just yet, because Marnie had kept it in play with the help of Warriner. They do now. And Clay looks to move forward one last time for the Glenorchy Knights.
They might make something happen as Marnie just played it in behind Lazinski. Stevens able to stretch it and clear it. Toghill from range. Geez, I don't know if Toghill's got that in his locker. Certainly haven't seen the 30-yard bomb from the fullback before, but look, with the seconds winding down, don't mind it on a night like this where it's swirling around, but never looked like challenging Kyle McDonald there.
No, why not?
I think he's really been fired up with this duel Kurtz, and he's getting a bit keen to have his impact on the game, especially with Kurtz laying the assist on that goal.
Perhaps he just wanted to give him a little salute afterwards, and that brings us to half-time, 1-1 here, and it's probably not quite a reflection of what we've seen. I think the Knights were probably lucky to capitalise on a poor error, I think, from Ladich with the back pass to get themselves ahead and stay there for most of the half, but the Warriors with a response after really grinding down that Knights defence and finding a way in and over the top and using Jack Ryan's height and physical strength to draw level.
Yeah, as you see, John Ladich there just getting his feet all mixed up, led to a totally undercooked back pass, sold his keeper completely down the river, and Declan Brown obliged with the finish. It was the dream start for the Knights, but just before half-time, a lovely ball here from Kurtz over the top, brought down to perfection and hammered home there by Jack Ryan, right between the wickets there with power, and the Warriors level it up and set the stage for a pretty intriguing second half here at Warrior Park. We'll be back in around about 10 minutes time to bring it to you. Can the Warriors get the job done and move top, or will Devonport be the big winners despite not taking the field? Do stick around and find out.
Top with possession fairly early. Stevens now on the ball. Looks up and finds Ladich, but that's poor. Brown in now, goes around the keeper, and he puts it into the net. That is a horrendous error at the back there from the Warriors, and the Knights strike early here. 1-0, Brown at the ready. Has an open field. That's Bay Kurtz out in a bit of space. The players making a move up in front of him and finds a beautiful ball. Jack Ryan!
Flag up.
Flag is up though. Thank you for calling me on that one. Has a wide man making a run, ignores that and goes himself. Gets the ball taken off him by Thompson. Probably the wrong decision there from Naden.
Takes it down. Corralled by Harrison as he turns onto the left. Oh, Toghill. Excuse his clearance. Straight back to the keeper. And Ventus, they didn't quite mean that. That's to Kurtz. They combine, but the Knights pressing well here. They're looking to play their way through, and they've done well. And a rather clumsy foul in the end.
Into some of that cluttered play you do see at times here, but Jono Ladich sliding in there too, absolutely just working their way back into the game a little bit here, the Warriors, but not really seeing their good possession translate into clear-cut chances. Ryan, which looked fairly close, but they're onto a good one here. Ladich goes wide to Cook. They've got a couple in the box, but it does not get beyond, I think, Warriner. So the ball is now thumped long here for the Knights. Thompson competing, but looked like a potential boulder hand just there. Talking about for Warriner. Takes that route too. Great chest down and thump from distance from Brown. And I think that's very lucky that McDonald...
He swings this one out and puts Ladich under a bit of pressure, and he's done pretty well there. And in the end, he just on the throw anyway. That one there into the Brown direction. Naden swings one across. Toghill making a storming run forward. He'll resume his duel with Kurtz. And
they've shown any prospect of holding it up at this stage. Warriors look to work it through here. Samuel James will earn a corner for the Knights.
Broke on the scene at Clarence those years ago has always impressed me, and he's been probably just about the Knights' best this year. He and Declan Brown.
It's Glenorchy Knights, and that really does indicate how much injuries have hit them. Scott now, though. Beautiful curl into the box, and the keeper comes but doesn't get to it. And Stephen looking more for the Gaelic football over there than the shot. Bit of a...
Swings it over the top. Able to find Ryan Mearns attacks, and then has his shirt ripped off by Toghill. Copra says, no, you tried to hit Ladich, who attacked the ball with speed but couldn't gather it. Marnie looking to play a 1-2. Does Marnie just clipped off the ball there? This might be a slice of...
His body's forward here, going to look to knock it on. It's thumped into the near coast. And McDonald strong here for the Warriors. Ducking it, really.
Yeah, I don't think he's too phased by it. Gutierrez Chavez now threatening to get in. Oh, it's Naden just behind him. It might fall for Declan Brown. Thompson there, still Declan Brown. Just kind of jumped straight into Lucas Hill.
Yep. Allows that one to get away. They stay on the ball though, the Warriors. But yeah, they've defended the aerial balls well and then defended the space well.
Get on the ball here though, and he drops it off for Declan Brown. Has a run at the defence, plays a beautiful 1-2, sends it across the face to Naden. Great block by Kurtz. Charges down the shot and saves us. He'll have a run at Toghill. And then swings across in looking for Jack Ryan. Brings it down. Jack Ryan, 1-1. The Englishman squares it up just before the half. He'd been threatening to do so. And that aerial ball over the top does bring about the goal.
2 or 3 minutes out though.
Yeah, I think he's more in the second half that he likes to just keep the theatre going. Half time, I think he's ready for a bit of a break. But then he just played it in behind of Lazinski. Stevens able to stretch it and clear it. Toghill from range. Geez, I don't know if Toghill got that in his locker. Certainly haven't seen the And we are back here for the second half. 1-1 the score as we are set to resume. A big goal from Jack Ryan, pegging back the Knights just before they went into the sheds and changing the complexion of the team talks, I'm sure. The Warriors will have a fairly stiff wind at their backs here in the second half, which should aid them. Can they get over the line and get these points they so desperately need? So we're underway here, and Luke Warrener sending it down the line. And just into that little corner there. Eventually it'll be a Warriors throw in. So the monitor here, and the Bermuda Triangle of Warrior Park, really, in terms of the ball goes there, and we kind of lose track of it. Back into eye shot there, Mearns.
Well, you see those containers over there, there were once ships, but they were lost forever in the Bermuda Triangle down there in Warrior Park as Bay Kurtz was perhaps caught, I think, then, or going to be cheesed for diving, and I think it is going to be caught just there.
Free kick line.
Certainly an interesting one that I'd love to have a look at. Happened in a flash and could have been a real swan dive, or the foot catching in there, and I think it's a real swan dive.
It looks like a little bit of a swan dive. We're going to have a bit of contact, but it seemed to be fairly exaggerated.
I certainly think that one's a dive.
The lack of protestation from the defender makes me think there might have been a little clip. I think he was very much going looking for it, but anyway, nothing came of the resulting free kick.
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he was certainly making the referee aware of the contact there then. As the Warriors get things going diagonally, it's Clay and Ryan, and it falls back to Ryan, and just with his strength he was looking to drive that one to the top corner, but Warrener gave him a nice little jostle with the body there to just knock him off balance and force him to turn it over. Although if one of his teammates had gotten on the end of that shot, I think he would have claimed it was a pass, as the ball is thrown into Nick Mearns, goes back to Thompson, they combine. Warriors defender Samuel James just knocks that one out of play.
So I think we'll see a fair bit of play in this final third in this half here. The Warriors had the better of the first half, and I think the wind's only going to aid them. Nick Mearns presenting here at this one, quite bringing under his spell, but recovered it well. Gutierrez Chavez covers the pass, so he goes inside, and Knights had some coverage there, and they're able to see it away. Lazinski laid it straight off to Jordan Scott, and it wasn't his tidiest there, Big Albie. Punch forward to Yost. Mack now swung forward. Yost again looking to get involved. Well done by Tyler Harrison, though, the Knights skipper, handling that one nicely. Went looking for Marnie, but Thompson just defending the situation astutely. They'll get the throw in here. Thompson goes looking for Ryan in a nice sandwich there between Clay and James. So he's trying to restrict the big fella's jump at the ball. And bracketing him. Oh, a little bit of space here for Kurtz. That's exactly where he heads. Flicks it over the top. Flick back by Ryan. The offside flag was up.
Yeah, I think he was just 10 centimetres or so offside there, Jack Ryan. Wasn't a great deal in it, and it certainly could have been a brilliant combination play if he had managed to stay onside there and Bay Kurtz had gotten that on target, but that's a fair few maybes right there, Andrew Cooley.
It was a lovely little kind of with the back of the head, nodding it back to Kurtz. Did quite well with it, but he had just strayed a fraction there, had Ryan, and the flag was up pretty quickly.
I'll give him high marks for intent, but low marks for execution there, as Brown has a couple in the box. Goes in the direction of Lazinski, but puts it well over the top, and just onto the roof netting there.
Yeah, just floated this one a little, Brown, as it initially looked like it might cause a few problems, but just kept going, and perhaps thought it'd just stand up in the wind there, but didn't really at all in the end. It didn't seem to help the progress too much, as McDonald will thump this one along. Lancing header, a good one from Kurtz, and Toghill has to just whisk it away from Jack Ryan, who was threatening to get in behind. And, impressive so far tonight, Jack Ryan. One of his better games for the season, I think. He's been strong, real presence up there. He got the goal.
No, he's playing a smart game too, I think, tonight, and managing to find a way to use his strengths, particularly looking to line up on Samuel James and Jade Clay. And I think that certainly shows that he's more than just a big body and more than just a hold-up man, as he looks to make the diagonal run. Couldn't quite stay onside that time, though, I don't think either, but ref lets it go as it went straight to McDonald. Warrener now. He goes to Marnie. And just to win a throw in. He goes long now. And Wilazinski gets in and under. Doesn't really knock it to advantage of his teammates though. Twice there, just giving the ball away. Jade Clay gets an up and under. Just descending into some of that broken up play that so typifies Warrior Park at times.
Plenty of aerial work going on for both teams in the moment. The ball not sticking on the deck as Jack Ryan shields it and then lofts it for Kurtz. But well read by Tyler Harrison, just attacking the ball well. He'll scramble back into position now as the Warriors take it quickly to Ladich. Jordan Scott. And the pressure from Brown is Scott. Stretching was Warrener. Steers it out of play. The throw taking quickly to Mearns and win a few more yards here yet. And they continue to probe away in the early goings of the second half. Will they offer something long towards Ryan here? They do. Up the back to Harrison. Luke Warrener should be able to clear it, but he just sent it straight up in the air. Didn't really get much distance on it, and they'll just spin out of play. Just rather sliced underneath the ball on that one, Lukey Warrener, as Brown chested it down. Almost fell for Ladich, but Gutierrez Chavez works it forward. Lazinski against Stevens, and then Lucas Hills just overhit that one for the chef. His hand up in apology. Pretty tough to judge the weight on these aerial balls tonight, given the wind is really just grabbing a hold of things.
Yeah, certainly a real difference depending on the direction you're going, and certainly favouring the, well, I suppose the southern end of Warrior Park, not the highway end. The Knights really struggling to get into the box as a result, having to fight into the breeze here. Interesting to see what they can conjure up here from the corner. Harrison making his way into the box. Looks as though Declan Brown's taking up a similar position to what Jordan Scott has been taking for the Warriors here. Could potentially be a move, but they drive it long. Naden off the shoulder, and it looks as though McDonald will have to come. Naden again, cleared off the line. Samuel James from distance, and the Warriors look to have cleared that one, but it looks as though somebody's copped a falcon or an elbow in the face there. I think Nick Naden just looking to be worse for wear, and with a head injury, Brenton Copra rightly calls the stop in play, but that was certainly a chaotic few moments there.
Lucas Hill with the big save here. He comes to the rescue, not dealt with by McDonald. The looping header, and using his positioning there, the big mountain to repel it. As that one
Falcon
smashed him in the face by his own teammate's volley there. And you can see he's feeling the ill effects of that one. Nick Naden, that was hit pretty sweetly and right into his schnoz there, so he'll be feeling that. But Lucas Hill with a goal line clearance to deny Naden, so real salt in the wounds there too. Denied a goal and then got one in the face. So
certainly one of those stingers that we were talking about early on, and it's going to sting as Brown looks from distance. Wanted to go to Naden, puts it out in front of McDonald, who didn't manage to hold on to the ball before the chef comes in and manages to tidy up. Usually leaves that to the cleaning staff down back, but gets in there and does his shift. And a sliding challenge here comes flying in from Yost.
The Knights
continue to push.
Gutierrez Chavez is suddenly trying to get in. He turns. It's Gutierrez Chavez centering ball. It's a great chance for Marnie. It's repelled by McDonald. Marnie didn't get the contact he was after, and McDonald denies him. But the Knights are suddenly surging here. The Warriors really, holding on.
Really would have liked to see McDonald hold on to that ball. It wasn't really hit with a great deal of power, but just perhaps after being unable to control the earlier one, he was nervous. Knights pushing here and having a good couple of moments. And it falls into the middle to Samuel James, who feeds it back out wide, and they're going to look to cross again. Goes to the back stick. Naden with the header. Just falls back down to him, but this time McDonald comes and just claims that one cleanly.
The Knights just really attacking with pace and causing some real issues for the Warriors suddenly. Is the game perhaps just going to break open here with both teams knowing they both need a win? Neither team really would be content with a draw tonight. They want the 3 points, so we might see it open up. And the Knights just had their best 5 minutes of the game here. It's as threatening as they've looked all match. And perhaps unfortunate not to have found a goal there, as that one's just rolled out of play. Kurtz arguing the point, but it's going to be a Knights ball there. And taken by Warrener. Is Linker, I think, could just use with settling this game a little bit, just settling it down. That was a poor throw straight to Nick Mearns. That invites danger too. Reverse pass for Kurtz. Can he track this one down? He could, but he couldn't bend it back. And just reckon Mearns might have been better off going inside there. We had a few people lining up for Kurtz instead, and he couldn't quite get there. But certainly a bit of fire wagon football here. It's really opening up.
Yeah, I think that's certainly the case. It's surprising to see the Warriors pushing on so well with such a force of nature coming up against them. The ball is thumped long here to the direction of Albie Lazinski. Powerful target man that he is. James just knocks it back into this disputed midfield territory. Warrener looks to get things going with Marnie, but he couldn't control it. And the coming together between him and Scott leads to Scott running away with the ball. Oh, great pressure here from Albie Lazinski, though. Wins it back. Gutierrez Chavez. And he looks to the top of the box and finds Brown, who's just managing to jink through with the ball. But it's cleared away there. Or was that just a really poor pass, I think?
It's going to be a Warriors ball, but Jordan Scott having his picket popped by his bald brother there in Lazinski. Just sneaking in behind and robbing him of the ball, and a very dangerous moment there. The Knights continuing to press on here. They're looking a lot sharper and more threatening, as they can't quite combine with Marnie
Can be
there.
a deadly condition, the picket pox, so you certainly wouldn't want to get a hold of that there, Andrew.
Indeed. This one is flicked on by Mearns. Ryan, he's going to get a free kick here. A bit of use in the arm. Jack Ryan applauding that decision, and I think after the season he's had, he's been penalised a fair bit for the use of arms himself, so I think he's quite glad to get one going back the other way for once. Just really appreciating the decision. A little bit more of that, thank you, referee. A few decisions my way.
Yeah, look, it's easy for many players to become obsessed with individual rules. I'm not suggesting that's the case, but when you've got one that goes against you, you love it when it comes back to you.
Jordan Scott to take, and he swings it in. Ryan the target. Lazinski flicks on Lucas Hill at the back post. Oh. Nick Naden able to repel there as it almost sat up for Lucas Hill at the back stick. The Knights are going to win the ball back here through Tolkill, though. Charging into the middle of the ground is Tolkill. Bursting forward, Lucas Hill brought an end to that. Spills out to Gutierrez Chavez, and Jordan Scott dropping extremely deep. Thompson and Ladich combined. Lazinski, a rampaging bull at the moment, charging out after that one. Wide for Marnie, just lost his footing but kept it in and worked it to Warrener.
His acceleration might not be what it used to, Albie Lazinski, but certainly has a pretty decent top speed. He was like a rampaging bull when he got going then. Good here for the Knights to get things going, but Stevens just whacks this one away. It's going to be Jack Ryan's hand on that ball, but ref just bringing that back now.
Yeah, good to see if there was an advantage and none forthcoming. Done there by Prince and Chop. Harrison the diagonal, brought down by Gutierrez Chavez back. The experienced Jade Clay, who coughs it straight up to the equally experienced Ladich. Ryan, if he could have got to that, he had Bay Kurtz all on his own in the middle, but Tyler Harrison was always favoured. In dispute in the bullseye, headed away by Cook. Yost flicked on, then got crunched in the back by Toghill, who puts his hands up, but it was pretty blatant there from Matthias Toghill. Free kick given to Austin Yost.
Haven't seen too much of Nick Naden in this game since he copped that Falcon, and certainly not a negative reflection on the player, but really a reflection on the fact of how difficult it can be to kind of come back into that game after you cop a blow like that. Teeth are still rattling in your jaw, but a quick one taken here from the Warriors. Poor cross though. The ball gets knocked away. Scott could look to try it again. Goes on his right and goes from distance with the outside of the boot swirler.
Like it. Come off, but if anyone's got permission to do this sort of thing, it's Jordan Scott.
It was closer than you think, and we've got a beautiful camera angle on this one. Strikes it lovely with the laces, but just curling away, and it might not look that close on that angle, but from where we were, it looked a little bit closer.
Yeah, always bending away, just got under it a little too much, but I like it from Jordan Scott. Pulling the trigger from distance. He's created a few spectacular highlights this season with that approach. Most memorable, of course, that goal at Darcy Street. And the dying embers of that one when he picked out the top ends is Toghill really having to stretch, and he did pretty well to work it forward. Couldn't find Marnie though. Stevens to Scott. Now, retreating back is the chef Ryan Cook. Cross to Thompson. That edge. Oh, Dicey passed that one straight to Brown. He's found Lazinski, returns it to Declan Brown, puts it back in towards Naden. Still Nick Naden controlling the ball, surrounded by Warriors, and they whisk it away from him in the end. That was ominous. This one's headed away by Ladich, and McDonald out after it, but they're carrying significantly more threat about them in this half, the Knights.
Beautiful move there from the Knights, but you just needed one of them to be a little bit more selfish there and get that shot off. To have just overplayed it a little bit with Naden there, who couldn't quite get the control that he wanted at the back stick, but to give him a little bit of credit, the Warriors showed a bit of weakness at the back, and it was Brown and Lazinski to pounce on it, just like when they scored the goal in the first half. Warriors now though, Mearns with a beautiful touch, but Warrener's positioning was on point to win the ball back for the Knights before they give it away fairly quickly, as has been typical of them tonight. Oh, Jack Ryan from distance, and he's found the back corner. Lovely shot there from Jack Ryan, just using the bounce of the ball to swing a bit of power through the shot. And he'll be pretty happy with that one. 2 goals on the night and a real display of all-round quality striking.
Yeah, this one just spinning off the pitch, crawley there for Clay. There's the height factor, and it just sat perfectly for the Ryan volley. He had one look and went, oh, this is set up all right, I'll have a piece of that. He lashes it home, and the Warriors take the lead, perhaps a little bit against the run of play. Knights having their best spell of the game, were really starting to look a threat. But that man, Jack Ryan, has been the ace up the Warriors' sleeve here tonight for his side. He's been superb, leading the line. He gets his second, and a crucial goal there. Warriors take the lead, and will it be 2 weeks in a row they fight back from behind to win a game? Well, hope they don't need the late drama, but I'll tell you what, they might need another goal, because Knights, I think, have definitely got another goal in them themselves.
Yeah, crawl really for the Knights, who've really come out and pushed in this half across the first 17 minutes of play, but it shows you how football can be a game of really fine margins, with the Naden, Brown and Lazinski move coming just a minute prior to Jack Ryan striking for the second time. But we'll see what the Knights can do here. The wind seeming to catch that one a little bit. Comes back to Albie Lazinski, who just knocks it into his own head before Mearns bashes it away. There's a good foot race on here between Warrener and Kurtz, but Kurtz losing out and Warrener sensibly knocking that one out of play.
Yeah, spending his opposite number, and yeah, it very much is a game of inches, and unfortunately Jade Clay just needed to be another inch taller, as that ball just picked up on the wind at all the top spin of a Rafael Nadal forehand and just lobbed him, and Jack Ryan did the rest, and he's the target of this long throw, repelled by Clay. Jordan Scott, boy was he pumped when his compatriot found the back of the net there. He gives it plenty on the celebration, and that's what we like to see up here at Slice of Cheese. A bit of enthusiasm for goal scoring, and he brings the passion, Jordan Scott, as Luke Warrener picks this one up. The Knights, they can't be too disheartened, because they're playing some pretty good football here at the present time. And if they keep working like this, you just sense that they can get themselves back into it. Clay just stands this one up into the breeze. It'll be an awkward one. Might fall for Naden. Uncertainty at the back here for the Warriors. Nick Naden brings it down, turns onto his left, and deflects straight into the hands of McDonald. Deflection could have gone anywhere, but you just can't let Nick Naden turn onto his left like that.
No, you certainly can't. But I also did notice very free Declan Brown that far post that he could have looked to have picked out as well. It looked like Brown wanted it with the way that he was gesticulating after that one. McDonald now for the Warriors. Looks to smack that one away as Albie Lazinski blocked out 50% of his option. Warriors holding on to the ball. Scott looking to chip it up over the top, but that's one of his more poor deliveries today. He certainly had a good game.
He immediately put his hands to his head there. Wasn't too pleased. Looks like some sub-action on the Warriors bench. Austin Yost, his night coming to an end, and Mark the Business Ortman going to be introduced. Youngster for youngster here, and quite get the chance to get on the ball too much this evening. Yost had a couple of good moments, but it's not really been a night for the wingers. It's very much been a knock it long to Jack Ryan type approach, but we'll see what Mark Ortman brings here, because he's not really a natural replacement, so they might shift things around a little bit, I suspect.
Looks like he's slotting into midfield. They could be just going into 4 in the midfield here, potentially, the Warriors, but just look over the next couple of minutes how they take formation. That is the Business Ortman on the ball there. Looks it back to Stephen. He finds McDonald. He lumps that one long to Ryan. Oh, that's a beautiful ball to Kurtz. Kurtz didn't quite get the touch that he wanted, but he duels well. And Mearns lashing his shot from distance well wide. He's very disappointed with that shot, and you can just see him muttering a few words under his breath there.
Yeah, I think he should have done a little bit better with this one, Mearns. The keeper caught flat-footed here. He watched it go wide, but just couldn't quite find the corner. The keeper, he was not getting near that if he could have picked out the bottom corner there. But Jack Ryan, again, he's having a fantastic game, the Englishman. He has been on tonight, setting up another chance for his team there. Some powerful centre-forward play from the Englishman as Lachlan Hart smashes this one. No, he's big, tall forward in Olazinski. Up and under from Lucas Hill. Didn't deal with that one particularly well, but fortuitously fell at the feet of Jordan Scott. Scott to Ryan, and he goes looking for a bursting run from Bay Kurtz. Kurtz, he's got Mearns in the middle if he can find him. He just played it back behind him. Gutierrez Chavez able to work it away. Lazinski stolen out behind here. He's judged that one pretty well. Big Albie, but he's a pass. Couldn't quite find Naden. I think he's a little bit shocked that he suddenly had the ball just falling on his chest there, Big Albie.
Yeah, disappointing distribution there from Albie. He looked disappointed in himself.
Big chance. Naden made a good run too. So, they are looking quite likely. The Warriors' defence not looking all that comfortable. And have a look at the wind factor out there if you want any clue what it's like out there. Certainly the nicest night to be outside. Unfortunately, the nice media box up here at Warrior Park.
I expect more than this oil heater, though. I'll have to have a word with George Mamarcus about that. There needs to be at least some kind of Fujitsu split-cycle system up here, George. And
you've always been a Mark Taylor fanboy.
I could settle for a Daikin, but yeah, words will be had as we see Thompson get onto the ball. Dangerous times here for the Warriors as they work things backwards. McDonald's is onto it. Albie Lazinski's been closing down well all night. A flick on from Mearns doesn't particularly work, but ball's given away poorly there from Jade Clay. Move it out wide with Jake Thompson. Plays it 1-2 with Jack Ryan. Gets the ball back to Ryan, but then promptly gives it away. And Brown looks to release Naden. The positioning there from the chef is rather good from the converted left back.
He's games at left back has been the solution. They've had plenty of different fullbacks over the last couple of seasons, but I don't mind Cook in that role as Kurt's playing an attacking role again tonight, and he's been pretty impactful there. Thompson tracked this one down. And, just takes a little defection before the throw-in. Goes long looking for Mearns. His impact on the game has started to lift a little bit too. He's getting on the ball and making a few things happen, and he does so here. Does Nick Mearns. He's a smooth mover and in full flight, and the confidence just starting to flow a little bit. He's starting to make things happen. The Warriors would dearly love a third goal to go a long way to killing this contest off. So again, Jack Ryan will be the target. He chests it down, quite combined with Kurtz. Thompson lofts it in. Toghill didn't clear the area. It's slashed by Mearns, and it's a good save by Hart. Denies Mearns, who again can't quite take the chance. It was a sharp one. He made good contact, and well done, Lachie Hart, on this occasion.
Yeah, Toghill will be a bit disappointed with that clearance, but they are awkward ones when you catch them on the half volley like that. And the ball is now with Knights. They're going to look to move forward and look to draw level again. Nick Naden, one of their prime movers, just getting shut out there by the business. Comes into the box here for Albie Lazinski, showing his strength. Good hold up play. Cross comes in, but only as far as Ladich. Mearns knocks it away, and we're going to see a countering move here from the Warriors. Threatening times now. Poor ball, though, behind Jack Ryan, who was in a fair bit of space there. Declan Brown, just to move it out wide with Marnie. He combines with Lazinski. To be offside, but the flag stays down. Marnie can't keep it in play. Goal kick to the Warriors.
20 minutes left in regulation. It'll be interesting when the Warriors decide to shut up shop. Certainly still plenty of game left. I wouldn't be doing it now, but reaches 85 minutes or so, they might just throw Jake Van der May on there and just decide to protect the lead a little bit. When will that call be made? As this one is worked forward by Ryan. Clever little ball there for Kurtz, who'll get the throw in. As a shout out to the president of Olympia, George Marcus, tuning in to us from Las Vegas.
This is an outrage. I'm sitting here freezing, and George is living the high life. Yeah. Absolutely great to hear.
As this one is worked to Thompson, and Thompson swings the cross in. Oh, horribly dealt with it. It's deaded into the post by Ortman. Still a danger. Couldn't find Mearns, and somehow that has stayed out. The Biz has headed it into the post from half a yard. Here's Nick Mearns.
Could have been almost a deliberate attempted shoulder finish there from the business Ortman, and he would be showing that he was the full business right there. We'll have another look at this one. Just chaos in the box here from the flick up and over.
It was horribly dealt with initially. This is just... and Ortman, I cannot believe he's missed it.
Oh dear.
He's nodded into the post. That is a glorious chance, that one. Shades of Brayton Allen a few weeks back there. There's a few players trying to outdo each other for miss of the season, I must say. There's the business's nomination. Got to be putting that away.
Yeah.
That's a bad business,
The business has gone into administration right there. That is no good.
Yeah.
We'll be expecting a lot better from the young man. One of the talented young footballers of Tasmanian football. Very versatile, but it's Naden here for the Warriors. Could not thread that pass, though, to Albie Lazinski. And McDonald just hooks that one up and away. Jade Clay, too. Really just a bit of a tennis game almost going on at the moment with the centre line, the net. And the play continues. Hart's going to come, has to get it onto his head, and after coming and getting underneath it a little bit, he did well to knock that one out of play.
It was a threatening moment as Ortman works it back to Scott. The Warriors looking to kill the game off here and find that third goal. They should have found it moments ago, but really looking to force the issue a little bit. As this one's worked back to Stevens. Just a lazy 40 degrees in Vegas, apparently. I tell you what, we can go for some of that over here, don't you worry. I wouldn't mind being in the desert right now as the diagonals played down here, looking for the business, but he showed too much of it to Matthias Toghill. Forward to Nick Naden, who's been a threat all evening. Turns into a little bit of trouble in the form of Jordan Scott, though. And offs it down toward Tyler Harrison. Gutierrez Chavez. Still going here through Brown. Brown swings it looking for Marnie in a pocket of space. Marnie, slightly heavy first touch, has to go back and control it. Lays it to Warren, he'll play the early ball in. Two at the back post, one of them's Naden, and just landed on his head in the end.
Yeah, just slipping in the lead up to that one was Nick Naden. Unfortunately for him, ball being headed away for a goal kick. Looks like the Warriors are settling reasonably well here now. Bit of fight seems to be going out of the Knights. Their delivery in the final thirds look to have lost a little bit of polish, but anything can happen in a moment in football. They're going to keep trying their hearts out. McDonald then thumps it long to the head of Jack Ryan. Tactic that we've often seen used today. To just get a little bit of his hand then. Copper allows it to continue. The chef now hooking it up and under and out of play, and Toghill gets things going quite quickly to Albie Lazinski. Been a real game of classic target men at times, Andrew Calling.
It certainly has. And, they've been the most heavily utilised players in both sides' attacks. There have been plenty of aerial balls to both, and certainly Ryan for Olympia has had the decisive moments thus far. Still time for the Knights though, as Naden will track this one down. Lays it back to Samuel James. Now Jade Clay. Clay turns back inside onto the right, swings it towards Naden, but straight to Ryan Cook there.
What I really like then is Jack Ryan having sense to man up on the left back rather than having to push too much in the pressuring of Jade Clay there. Just chopping off their avenues rather than really making his lungs burn and use up too much energy. It's smart striking play, strategy of cutting those passing lanes. As the big header comes in from Alpi Lazinski, and what a save from McDonald.
That's huge. God, McDonald, full extension. That is absolutely massive. Lazinski with a great header on target, a full extension. That's a cracking stop there for McDonald.
A chance just seemed to come out of nowhere. It was just early cross there for the Knights, and it goes back stick for them, looking for Naden again. Thumping shot from distance from Toghill. You know why he tried that one earlier on now. Albi Lazinski with the hold-up play. He knocks it out wide to Brown. Brown looks to beat his man and drive into the box, but it's Jack Ryan, probably the player of the day so far, who stands up there in defence for the Warriors as well.
No probably about it for me. If he doesn't get 3 votes, there's something wrong as far as I'm concerned. Still time left though for that to change, but he's been outstanding, and a real different scenario this week for the Warriors. Last week they had to score the late goals and push the issue. This week they have to defend and hold on. Another third goal for that little bit of comfort as John O'Lage has his shirt ripped off by Declan Brown, and that will allow them just to settle things down for a moment. And Jordan Scott send another one of his teasing deliveries in. The scenario very different to what it was a week ago, but ultimately the situation the same, as Britton Copper just telling someone over there on the bench just to cool their jets a little bit, and eventually Scott will take Lucas Hill and Ryan bunching together. That's where you'd imagine this one's going to go. As the Englishman says, don't worry about that, Thompson, I'm swinging this one directly, and he does just that. Over the head of Hill, it's deflected, nearly an own goal. Well, that was nearly a freak own goal, a massive deflection. That was just past the post.
That was a pinball machine in that box, just pinging around in there, and coming off Albi Lazinski. I don't think he knew too much about it, however. We're going to see Jordan Scott now take advantage of the corner that was just earned from that deflection. Got a few big bodies in the box. Lucas Hill, the back stick, Mearns at the near, goes into the middle.
Ryan.
Oh, and it was just rising wide to the back stick, but Ryan couldn't get the contact that he wanted on that cross. Knights will look to try and get back into this game with only about 12 minutes left of regular time.
Just hitting it into the deck there, the Englishman, looking for a hat-trick, and probably, well, after last week you certainly can't definitely say it would be a sealer, but it would go a long way to winning this game, as this one's chipped forward, should be dealt with pretty comfortably, and he's by Clay. Clever little flick there from Ladich to Scott, and Scott sends Jack Ryan into space. He looks up, he's got some support coming in the form of Ladich. Opts to go towards Scott instead. Oh, it was the right idea, but Gutierrez Chavez intercepted, then got clipped, and that'll be brought back. And is the Englishman going to find himself in the book here for that foul? It'll just be a talking to. I think he'll just get the talking to. It's a spectacular fall from Gutierrez Chavez. Real flail in the air from him. Have a look here. Catching him a little late. But, certainly no booking there. Rightfully none forthcoming.
Yeah, just a 6 for that one.
This one's out the back for Toghill. Bombing on Toghill, trying to make something happen and get him behind of Cook here, but he's defended his flank pretty well and clears this one down the bank. So the Knights looking to knock on the door here. Can they find a second goal? They've been pretty good value in an attacking sense in this second half. They've certainly offered
a lot more than the first half when they did get their goal. That one just stood up in the breeze to Cook's advantage, but he headed it straight back to Toghill. Toghill with room to cross now after he beat one. Swings it to the top of the box. Good here is Chavez. Jeez. Lashed it, made sweet contact with the volley. It was always rising, but geez, he hit that sweet on the volley.
I really liked his reaction too. He was really disappointed in himself despite catching it reasonably well. He didn't manage to keep it down, but the technique looked pretty damn good, didn't it, Andrew Cooling?
The technique was beautiful and got the power, just couldn't quite get the boot over the ball quite enough to bring it down. But, I don't think on the old XG that would be rating too highly as a chance when you're hitting a volley like that, leaning back from the top of the box. Not one you'd expect him to score, but threatening. And as we enter the final 10 minutes of this one, it looks like the Warriors are going to go to the bench again. That's Warren Wadawu who's going to come on for John O'Ladich, so that's an interesting one. And maybe Kurtz will move back into defence, I would expect.
They must have some pressing mail that needs dealing with here, the Warriors, with the offensive substitution, because the postman is in play. He's one of my favourite players in Tasmanian football. He's been a bit crawled by injury this year as Warren Wadawu, and slowly working his way back into things. You know, hopefully see a typical assist from him tonight, because I love seeing him do his best work, and that is it.
It looks like Kurtz has just dropped back into Ladich's midfield position, and Wadawu will take up the wing spot that Kurtz had been operating. So just bringing some fresh legs on there, not a bad idea. It's lofted down the line towards Mearns. Samuel James sends it across to Luke Warrener. Warrener gets his head up and powers off towards his goal. He swings it. He's continued his run too. Lucas Hill chopping that out, but good driving play there from Luke Warrener. Driving the play, hitting the pass and keeping that run going.
Yeah, I like to see that closing down too early from Warren Wadawu. That was really train mail from the postman. Absolutely got rolling there. Toghill now looking to take on. Took a good touch there and then a good turn. Plays the ball across to Lazinski. The Warriors defender was alert and knocks it away. Gutierrez Aves looks out wide to Marnie. Marnie puts it on his left boot. But nobody looking to get across that near post again for the Warriors. And McDonald's just managed to hold on to that, but I think he's just looking to waste a bit of time there as the keeper.
Yeah, I think he's all right. See, most of the balls they've played have been down this right wing tonight because they just want to bend it back on the breeze centrally. And if you play it too centrally, then it's just been swinging out wide on the left. As this one, let's see for Lazinski. It's got too much carry on it. Straight through to McDonald in the end. And to tell you what, Matthias Toghill, for a fullback, is primarily known as a bit of a defensive defenseman. He's shown some real offensive flares tonight, charging forward and beating men to get some crosses in. He's been impressive with his endeavour to get forward. He's probably someone we more associate with defensive players. Jack Ryan won't quite get on into this one. The business Altman trying to send him in over the top.
Yeah, he's a man who's hungry for a hat-trick, I think, is Jack Ryan. I'm not sure if he's got one so far for the Warriors. Certainly not one when I've been in commentary. He'll be always hungry for more, as all good strikers are. Lucas Hill getting into advanced positions, which you do see at times from him, especially when the Warriors start to get on top and he needs to take advantage of that comfortable fact.
It's interesting he stayed up here and told Jordan Scott just to stay back. He's just enjoying his little venture forward here, I think, the mountain at the moment.
If he does that too many times, I'm not sure Scott will enjoy it though.
No, I think you want your big centre-half in the middle of your defence with 5 minutes left to defend a one-goal lead. As Toghill looks to charge forward again. And this time just robbed of it by the business Altman. Mearns swings it out to Wadawu. He's got Jack Ryan in space. Just needed to pull the trigger a little earlier, but found Mearns in the end. Mearns tries to pick out Wadawu. Does so nicely. The early cross really gave Ryan a chance. Needed a bit of elevation as Copra showing some dexterity to get out of the way of that one. Toghill goes down by Wadawu. Almost deflected for Mearns perfectly. Not quite. Declan Brown across to Warrener. Approaching kitchen sink time here for the Knights, and that's a pretty clever ball for Nick Naden. He gets on the end of it, one-on-one with Hill.
Goal kick.
And it's going to be a goal kick, so well done to the Mountain.
Yeah, he just played it off Nick Naden there very well. So we have another look at the, as you called it, the dexterity of Brenton Copra. Did well to get out of the way of that one. It's going to avoid the wrath of the players, but we'll see a substitution here.
Looks like Ryan Backhouse, I think. From that quick glance. The monitor, I'm pretty sure that was Ryan Backhouse. Yeah, that is. So Ryan Backhouse comes on for Samuel James. Former Zebra. At the Knights looking to seize his opportunity there. Again, McDonald with a big draw. Straight onto the head of Clay. Watered down by Backhouse. Gutierrez, Chavez. Stevens to Ortman. Just only hitting that one a little. Warner thumps it out of play. 4.5 left in regulation. The Warriors, if they can hold on here, they'll move to the top of the NPL Tasmania table. And it will be over to Devonport. They'll still have 2 games in hand. The Warriors would be a point ahead. But it'll just increase the pressure a little on them ahead of tomorrow's trip to Buckby Land Rover Park, which is going to be an easy venue to get a result from. As this one's away by Thompson. Still expect Devonport to get the job done because they've just been an absolute machine the way they've ground out these results this year. But it certainly won't be easy because it's going to be a very, very heavy pitch, I suspect. Although as we saw up at Valley Road 2 weeks ago against South Hobart, that might just suit the Strikers just fine. So they bullied South in that one. And speaking of bullying, Jack Ryan just fending off Luke Warner here with consummate ease, although Warner fought back well and won it away from him. Got it to George Hallard, who's come on for someone. Missed that substitution. Because that is George Hallard who snuck in there.
Certainly snuck out onto the pitch on us. Out of nowhere, the Englishman. Certainly a good community man. I've spotted him working in the canteen out there for the Knights too, which is always good to see.
I reckon he's come on for Aaron Barney.
Gets on the ball and spreads it out wide to Tog Hill. Makes a lung-busting run now too. Naden with a long high cross. Kaczynski heads it onwards. I think that's Backhouse out there. He's getting his first real offensive touches. Got company with Thompson. So just lose view of that one.
Just need to put the cross in, try to double back and get round him. Just need to swing it in on the right there, Backhouse. Get players lining up in the box. So this one will land for Ryan. Ryan just out muscling Warner. It's Jack Ryan looking for the hat-trick, and he shot it straight into Tyler Harrison. And out the back for Hart.
Yeah, straight into the arm of Tyler Harrison, but right by his side and...
about 2 yards away.
Yep, from about 2 yards away at 197 kilometres an hour, so certainly right to let that one go. It's Copra.
Nick Naden. They hit that one, are they? Just running out of ideas here, the Knights. 2 minutes plus change to go. And, well, as we say, it is Copra. There could be 8 minutes of added time. Who knows? You'd probably imagine there should be probably 2 or 3. But that's the great mystery of the man. He loves a bit of added time, and at the end of the day, if they did actually count added time properly, he'd probably have about 17 minutes per game. So, can't argue with it.
No, why not? We'll just have that completely arbitrary and depending on how much entertainment we need.
Well, yeah, it's a pretty arbitrary process, as the refs have explained it to me. Just chuck on 30 seconds for a sub or a goal here. Oh, yeah, there's an injury stoppage, another 30 seconds. It's an approximate guess. Usually they just go 3 minutes. Oh, yeah, 3 minutes. Why? Standard. But Copra, his standard's 5 minutes, so time left for fireworks, I think.
Yeah, certainly. And that's lumped long for the Knights. In and over the top. Jakey Thompson, it's Backhouse. Things didn't go too well for him when he tried to take him on earlier, so he goes the early cross, but the early cross looked like it was no good, as the players look like they're filing out for the goal kick from McDonald.
Another sub in the offing here, judging by that flag popping up, just in our view. That's Jake Vandermeer coming on, so it seems the Warriors have decided they'll set up shop here and bring on their experienced defender, and he'll replace Thompson. So
had a pretty good game today, I think, as Jakey Thompson. He's had one of the livelier customers in the league in Brown for company, who, when he gets going in full flight, can certainly be extremely pacey. So I think he's defended fairly well, but just giving him a rest for the final 10 minutes. Job done, and Jakey Vandermeer, one of the senior heads of this Warriors outfit, will come on and contribute. Mearns now. He's got a couple in the middle, looks to spread it across to the business. His first touch was poor, however, and Toghill smacks it away. George Hallard on the ball to play it to Lazinski, but that was really a poor pass. And files out the back to McDonald.
That is exactly what they're after here. Just eating up those extra seconds. Making Brown come chase him. It's wider goalkeeping, that is, from McDonald as he slices this one again in the Jack Ryan direction. He looks to just bring it down and did so well. Lofts it into space, but Hart will beat the biz to that one. And
did well.
Chipped it out nicely to Naden too. And Naden turns and takes off, and he looks to burn off Jordan Scott, and he looks to burn off Cook as well. Chipped it forward for Brown. Scott lofting it in the air. You can see the breeze is just swirling a little bit more in this half as that one just held up. Vandermeer out to try and deal with Backhouse, who glides inside. Hallard with a clever first-time ball for Gate Clay. The flag's raised. The offside flag has been the bane of both sides attacking that end this evening.
Yeah, it certainly has. Not sure what it is about that end. It's really drawn that, but could be a bit of a factor of the breeze. Players streaking a little early when they think the ball is going to be shot out longer than it is, and it just holds up in the breeze. Could lead to some offsides, but could just be a statistical anomaly if the Knights get onto the ball, or rather the Warriors get onto the ball, as they really have for this second half of the second half. They won't be doing much with a shot like that. As Mearns
Not a corner?
angrily asked for the corner. It did look to have taken a deflection, didn't it?
Yeah, I thought it definitely took a fairly sizable deflection. Maybe he's decided it was off a Warrior, but for me that was a definite corner. Mearns frustrated, and just giving the ball back is probably the biggest frustration of it.
He was incensed for a second there. He charged at the referee and let him know what he thought. Naden now.
Didn't quite go full Jason Roy, but he was just about there.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about the cricket anyway, Andrew.
Yeah, moving on as
crap sport.
Warner works this one forward across to Clay. Clay looks to burn off Nick Mearns. Approaching last chance saloon time here for the Knights. Can they generate one more chance? I think we've done a pretty good job in the last 10 minutes, just stifling them a little. As Ryan didn't have any support, so he just holds it up and takes it wide. We want Wadawu to make the run down the line for him. Eventually it was forthcoming, but Ryan couldn't pick him out. And look at the watch from Copper. We've got 92.5 minutes. I don't think there's cause for a whole lot of stoppage time. There's substitutions and a couple of goals, so they'll probably get you 3 minutes, but beyond that. And indeed,
That is it.
Forensic Copra says that'll do, and the Olympia Warriors move to the top of the NPL Tasmania table. It might be a temporary stay if the Devonport Strikers can win tomorrow evening, but for now we have new league leaders. They've played 2 more games, so not a decisive break by any means, but they keep up the pressure. They get their 6th win in a row. Jack Ryan with a brace, and they're about to head into a huge 3 weeks of football here. They play the Zebras, South Hobart and Devonport in the next 3 weeks.
As we have a look at the goals, a terrible back pass early on from John O'Ladich really gave the Glenorchy Knights a chance just there. It was all Warriors pretty much after that one.
Yeah.
Callum Brown just pouncing on it before Jack Ryan gets the first of 2. Just a great strength and a good first touch, allowing him to slide that one past Lachlan Hart, who had a pretty decent goal in games, I thought, at times.
He was tested, pulled off some good saves, but ultimately Olympia are under a fair bit of pressure in the second half. The Knights were better in the second half, but so too were Olympia. And Jack Ryan, what a fantastic goal to win it, thumping it from distance. He was the player of the match for mine. I thought Nick Mearns was pretty classy in midfield too, but Jack Ryan, the hero on the night, and he sends the Warriors back to the summit. It's over to you, Devonport, tomorrow evening against Launceston City. The live stream tomorrow, though, will return to Warrior Park. We're here for the big Women's Super League clash. It's the Hobart Zebras and Olympia in a game that, speaking of sorting out title races, that'll go a long way to deciding that. So join us for that one.
But from Warrior Park here this evening, Jack Ryan, the hero. The Warriors are on top. A 2-1 win to make it 6 on the bounce. And a big day coming up tomorrow when the Strikers travel to Launceston City. From the Slice of Cheese commentary team here, it's been a pleasure bringing this one to you, and we'll see you again tomorrow.